Welcome back to Squawk on the Street. The Future Investment Initiatives Priority Summit kicking off here today in Miami. Of course, FAI CEO Richard Attias is here with me now. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having me, David.
Bigger and better than last year. This year we've got cameras along with me as well. Gives us an opportunity to talk. I guess let's start off with the president. He's going to show up here later. Any expectations in terms of what it is that he's going to be focused on, or what you think the attendees here would want to hear?
You know, he will spend 1 hour with us, which is, I think, a lot of time. He will deliver a speech, which I'm expecting to be on geoeconomics. It's a unique moment to speak in front of an audience of global CEOs, investors, private equities. We have more than 1,500 people registered, so I think it's a great opportunity for the president to explain also what is his agenda in terms of geoeconomics and how United States of America is also a great destination to invest in. So this is what I'm expecting. And then we'll have a conversation for 15, 20 minutes together, which I will try to discover who is the man behind the president.
Really? You're going to do that in 15 minutes? All right.
We'll see.
You can get that done. Good luck to you. Richard, you know, the theme, and I've mentioned it, is invest with purpose.
Correct.
Obviously, we spent a lot of time talking on CNBC about investments. Generally, you want to get a good risk-adjusted return when you make an investment. Does investing with purpose imply something beyond that?
You know, at the FI Institute, when we started this institution 5 years ago, our motto was impact on humanity. And we conduct a survey every year, which is called the FIR Priority, trying to understand what the citizens of the world priorities are. And for 3 consecutive years, the obsession of citizens is cost of living. Number 2, healthcare. Number 3, climate change. So I think it's important to listen to them. We see many countries, as you know better than me, which have some social issues and even some local internal issues, because there is a disconnection between world leaders and their citizens. And I think it's important to understand that. So the point I'm making here is that if we invest with purpose, which is if you invest to really take care of education, healthcare, climate change, you can continue to make money, but at least you are investing with a purpose. And this is what we see is becoming a priority. And number 2, if you remember well, after COVID-19, so many young people and talented people started to resign from their jobs. We call that the Great Resignation.
Yes.
And when we try to understand why these people were resigning, the survey were proving that young people now, they want to work for companies which also have a purpose, to feel this notion of social responsibility. So I think things are changing. And we have to send this message to investors and to our community: invest with purpose.
It's interesting to hear you mention climate change, at least as number 3 on the list of concerns. It is not a priority for
It was even number 5 3 years ago, believe it or not.
So it's moved up.
It's moved up, but still not at the level where world leaders are putting climate change as a big priority,
right,
which is not really necessarily aligned with citizens.
Interesting. Well, this administration is not a priority at all, I think it's fair to say. I'm curious as to how the Saudis, which obviously are behind the FI Institute, are approaching it then. Is your expectation that, for example, at this conference, there's still going to be a lot of conversation about things that can be done
Absolutely.
in terms of reducing carbon?
Yes, there is a real agenda on that. And the Saudis are much more committed to being carbon neutral and to take care of climate change initiatives. We started in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia a great initiative called the Saudi Green Initiative, including the Middle East Green Initiative, with real actions, with real outcomes, planting millions of trees. And even big, large companies like Aramco and others have a real agenda. And I'm sure that you will have the opportunity to ask our chairman, who is also the governor of PF, and the chairman of Aramco, about how serious they are in terms of climate change and trying to be carbon neutral.
Yeah, I mean, it is always surprising to hear one of the world's largest oil producers talk about things in that way.
But you know, you hear a lot from big global oil companies today in the world. We know many of them, and they have serious agenda and action plan and roadmap on how to be more and more carbon neutral. It's a challenge, but they are more serious than we think.
I hope to be able to speak to Yasser Al-Rumayyan about it as well. Finally, obviously, aside from the president, anything you're particularly looking forward to in the next couple of days?
I just hope that AI will not be the only major point of conversations, because AI is everywhere. everyone, I think, understands that AI is not just a trend, but it's a transformation. It will be a new era. But we have many other topics that we need to talk about in terms of investment, including sport, including infrastructure, including food security, many topics that we have in our program, which I hope will not be underestimated.
Right. It's all about AI these days, as you say. Well, I will certainly try to focus on all of them as well. Richard, thank you.
Thank you for having me, David. Thank you.
Thank you for having us as well. Richard Attias, of course, who runs things over here. Courtney, I'll send it back to you.